Hello, vinyl community, it's Brian. For a while now, I've been thinking of doing a video about some of the obscure items in my collection. And what did I just discover? I discovered a contest on exactly that topic. This is from TKR VideoCentral, TC Kirk and the Kirkham Report, who has a show called TC's Obscuria Vaults. Now I'm reading this because I don't want to get it wrong. It premieres weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, US. So the idea of this contest is to show titles that you honestly think no one else in the vinyl community has. So in other words, you're the only person who has this record in the VC. You can show any format, LPs, CDs, 7-inch singles, whatever you like. But if you show more than, but keep it to 2 formats. But if you show more than 2 formats, try to keep it balanced, 5 and 5. So I'm going to stick with 10 records, and I hope TC knows what he's getting into. Watching videos from many people showing 10 records, that might take some time. However, I'm going to do it, and this is for his push to 200 subscribers. So I'm going to do this, and one other thing that he notes is that. Is to spread the word. If you know someone who doesn't subscribe to TKR, ask them to subscribe and mention your YouTube handle in the comments. I don't know if that's even possible. So many people don't show their, including me. I guess I don't have my subscriptions displayed, but just tell them I sent you. That would do it, and that will give you an extra entry. There's also a secret way to get extra entries, which is a little opaque here. It doesn't really tell you what that is, but there's secret criteria that may end up giving you an extra entry into the contest. So without further ado, and this may be a long video, there's 10 records. I really do videos of 10 records, so we'll see how this goes. So 10 items I think that I'm probably the only person to have in the vinyl community, and if you do have it, just leave a comment and let me know. I'd be very curious. The first is a remix album from an artist called Grand Duchy. So this is titled Let the Prophet Speak. 9 remixes by the Gloom Prophet based on songs from the album Let the People Speak by Grand Duchy. And well, may you ask, who is Grand Duchy? As it turns out, Grand Duchy is a husband and wife team of Black Francis, otherwise known as Frank Black from the Pixies, and his wife, Violet Clark. She does, and I'm reading some of this content because I might forget. Violet plays synth, bass, and vocals, and Frank does vocals and guitar. And the Gloom Prophet is a guy named Britt Thomas Brady. I know nothing about this person. This is a pretty strange record because it's, I don't even know the original record. I only know these remixes, and I don't know them very well. So odd, to be sure. Probably a really not very well-known Frank Black side project. But in any case, from the Bureau Records, there is a download card, and I don't know if I've downloaded it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is an artist that goes by the name of Young Man. His real name is Colin Caulfield. He's from Brooklyn. This is his record called Ideas of Distance. I forgot to mention the Gloom Prophet Grand Duchy record is from 2012. This is from 2011. I guess you call it pop, rock, maybe a bit of folk. This guy gained attention from performing on YouTube, and he did a cover of a song called Rainwater Cassette Exchange that was originally recorded by Deer Hunter. That's Deer Hunter, the one-word Deer Hunter from Bradford Cox. And he loved that. He loved it. Bradford Cox saw the cover version and really loved it and thought it was extraordinary. So he has a number of records out now. This is the gatefold. I have listened to this many times, but I can't really place it right now. But anyway, a YouTube star is a good way to describe him, and sort of got some further attention because of his covers. This is on French Kiss Records. You might know them. They're the pretty popular label. There it is. Young Man with a rather strange design on the cover. This is kind of an enjoyable, low-key kind of record. Third thing that I'm going to show you today is, I love this minimal album design, by the way. It's a downed hydrogen balloon. And the back is also similarly very plain. This is from an artist who calls himself on this record S.A. Andre. The record is called There's a Fault. It's from 2010. You might describe it as pop with a bit of soul, maybe electronic. His real name is Drew Brown, and he also released a record called under the alias Tiago La is Losing the Plot. So I'm going to read just a bit from the record company. Though not immediately apparent, this is actually a concept album based on the final voyage of a Swiss explorer who was named S.A. Andre. He died in 1897, who went missing during an attempt to reach the North Pole via hydrogen balloon. Only the chance discovery of his frozen remains, maps, and preserved camera film 33 years later explained the mystery of his fate. One of the interesting things about this record is that it uses original analog synthesizers, so they're a little unpredictable, and that's one of the things he was going for. So ambient pop, strangely elliptical lyrics. It's hard to describe it, but I really like this record. It's very low key. And the label, 1 dot for side 1, 2 dots for side 2, and just regular black vinyl. Kind of an interesting item for sure. If you have these, let me know. Third is a person named, Cohen Holtkamp. There it is here, front and back. And as you note, it's actually signed twice for some reason, pen and then some sort of Sharpie, I guess. Cohen Holtkamp. This record's called Liquid Light Forms. It's from 2013. There was an edition of 400 of these. 300 were on black vinyl and 100 were on gold vinyl. And this one is on gold vinyl. Liquid Light Forms. There's only 3 tracks in here, but they're quite long. This side A is 1 track, side 2 has 2 tracks. And I guess an accurate description of this might be synth drone. Although not all of his music fits that description. There's more electric guitars in some of his works, but not very many of those issued, so it'd be interesting to know if you have one. Number 5 is a band called, it's hard to see it because of the coloring, I guess you'd say Zdravstvuyte. I think they're taking a play on the Russian word for hello. The full word for hello in Russian is Здравствуйте, and you would say Здравствуй for a short form, and that's, I think, what they're going for here. And I think they were originally from Portland, and jazz rock, ambient, not ambient, jazz rock, avant-garde, maybe a bit of prog built in here. Strange cover, doesn't really have a real or a real insert place, but and probably a really ugly record label. Yeah, so jazzy rock, I guess, avant-garde, and again, probably not many of those around, and it's really impossible to see the writing on here because they use silver on silver, but whatever. That was number 5. Now in the indie hardcore shoegaze arena, I'll show you something from a band called Gods and Queens. It's the front, it's the back, and this record is titled Untitled. And not only is the record titled Untitled, every single track on this record is entitled Untitled. There's a CD of all the untitled tracks, and there is the label. There's A and B, and I will show you the vinyl because it's on this crazy purplish, I guess, record. Now, interestingly enough, if you look this band up on Discogs, the bio says, and I quote, "broke up after a van accident in the Czech Republic." So this is their only record, and it's like no information about what this band actually is, who's in it. They just broke up after a van accident. Sorry, I'm laughing. That could be quite serious, and I don't know much about it. So Gods and Queens, 2008, that one came out. Next is an Irish duo from Northern Ireland, electronic duo from Northern Ireland called Japanese Pop Stars, and this is a remix collection. So there's 3 tracks on here. One is from a cover of Depeche Mode's Peace. One is a cover of Closer to the Edge by 30 Seconds to Mars, and there's a cover of a Kylie Minogue song called Better Than Today, and this came out in 2011. Now the Depeche Mode cover version is fantastic. I really like it, and I think it's the best thing on here. The 30 Seconds to Mars cover version is pretty good. I'm confounded by the Kylie Minogue track because I don't know her music and I don't know the original version, but I would say even the cover, even this remix version is terrible. But this is the rather interesting inner sleeve, and it's on heavyweight vinyl. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, so this video doesn't drag on forever and ever. Number 8, something from 1990. This is from a band called For Lulu, which is a English alternative new wave post-punk band. This is a limited edition 12-inch single with 6 tracks. So you might know this band. I think they had some popularity. I'm not sure how many people have this. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of bands that look like that, even if you don't know this particular band. This came out to because they had a new album coming out, so they're like an advance release, and it's on Beggar's Banquet, Vertigo. I think you've seen that label before. So that's number 8, and for my Canadian content, I have chosen a band called P.S. I Love You, a duo from Kingston, Ontario. This came out in the year, I forgot to write it down, 2011, Paperbag Records, which is a well-known record, well-known, it's a known record label in Canada. And this is Figured Out, which is a collection of some of the singles and EPs they'd released. And again, a really minimal design here because there's not really a proper sleeve here. And there's the tracks that are included here. I would say one of the interesting tracks is there's a cover of Rush's Subdivisions on the last track here, which I think is actually pretty good. And there we have the label, just regular black vinyl. And yeah, pretty good. I like that record very much. And another Canadian item. Now, I mentioned this band in a previous video when I talked about 5 records from 5 Toronto area artists, the Rheostatics, which is a popular yet somewhat idiosyncratic band from Etobicoke, which is now part of Toronto. And this is their this is their Brave New Waves session. So CBC Radio would record bands for this radio show called Brave New Waves, and some of them have come out on vinyl. So this one is one that I grabbed because I'm a fan of the Rheostatics, and I wanted to have this. So let's see. It starts with Dope Fiends and Booze Hounds, which is a really good track. I won't read them all, but there's they're hockey fans. There's a track in here called Guy Lafleur. They actually have on their first record had the Ballad of Wendell Clark, parts 1 and 2. I think parts 1 and 2. He's obviously an old, he was played for the Leafs at some point. And inside we have information about that particular session. And I'll show you the vinyl because it is on colored vinyl like so many records these days. So this record is from, I didn't write the date down. Yeah, so originally recorded in 1988, but wasn't released on vinyl until 2017. So that's two Canadian records to make that off. So definitely let me know if you have any of these. I'd be very curious. And tell TC that I sent you. Maybe I'll get an extra entry. And I'm sure you all have obscure things. I'm thinking a few people I know who would have tons of stuff for this. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.